It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. I've been raking up off these niggas for a minute now. Hey, y'all gonna learn to listen one way or another though. Hey, let's get it. Let me show you how I keep the money coming. Strapped up like he check, nigga, run it. In the mirror, yeah, I love what I'm becoming. Ain't no discussion, boy, don't make me split your onion. Hey, let me show you how I keep the money coming. Strapped up like he check, nigga, run it. In the mirror, yeah, I love what I'm becoming. Ain't no discussion, boy, don't make me split your onion. Yeah. Flashback to the days I was in the days. I was sleeping on the couch, couldn't nobody stay. I was serving up the chicken, couldn't get a raise. Now I'm cooking up the game like I'm Bobby Flay. Fuck rap, I ain't got no friends in this shit. Put them M's to the front like a Benz in this shit. I be swimming through the money, got some fins in this shit. I be stomping through the street like some Timbs in this bitch. Made trends in this shit for some IOUs, but I don't lose. Construction how I tighten them screws. Tie up my shoes, back on the block, straight to the bag, ho. Jumping off the porch for that green like a tadpole. Let me. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday afternoon. Hey, man, the 1 year anniversary of Not Like Us, man. The game has never been the same ever since. The song is still on the Billboard Top 100 charts as of today. I'm going to pull it up in just a few minutes. But just imagine that, bro. You put out a diss record on another rapper on a Sunday, no less. On a Sunday. It's supposed to be the Sabbath, a day of rest. This nigga dropped a motherfucking diss record on your ass at 6 p.m. or around 6 p.m. on a Sunday. And it's one of the biggest records ever released in hip-hop. This shit is almost 10 times platinum in less than 365 fucking days. Are you shitting me? That's crazy, man. Y'all just saw I opened up with footage of the Charlotte show last night. Out in Charlotte, their stadium has no roof. I ain't got no roof. You know what I'm saying? And it's 50,000 plus in the building singing along word for word, Not Like Us. You could hear the crowd damn near louder than Kendrick. Word for word, bar for bar. You can't say that man ain't win. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Oh, he said this, he said that. I don't know if it was proven. Nah, nigga, shut up. Nah. One of the most impactful records of all time. One of the biggest diss records. The biggest diss record of all time. Let's just go ahead and put a motherfucking pin in that. The biggest diss record of all time. One of the most successful songs in hip hop of all time. It's crazy, man. Got Maul out here talking about the beat ain't all the production on Not Like Us ain't even good. Excuse me, sir? One of the most easily recognizable instrumentals of all time, ever? It don't even take you 2 seconds to know what the fuck going on. The man's intro, Psst, I see dead people, is even more iconic than the originator. Game. Like, there's no way you could cut or slice it to try to diminish or minimize what was accomplished with this record. Some people just don't like the fact that it's Kendrick, and hey, that's your prerogative, but dog, if you doubt it, you got proven wrong. That's okay. It's the biggest. So, man, it's so crazy. That week was just insane, bro. The way that everything transpired once Euphoria dropped, and I still feel like, Euphoria is really the moment, right? But Not Like Us was the celebration. Not Like Us was the victory lap. Not Like Us was the fucking throw in the towel. Tyrese, throw in the towel. Like, no, it's over. Drake best bet was to not even drop The Heart Part 6 because it was a pointless ass record filled with misnomers and misinformation and misquotes. He might as well have just stayed home, not even clocked in at the studio. So crazy, man. Everybody was already in shock enough of how he handled Meet the Grams right after Family Matters come out. Oh, you got a song called Family Matters? Let's talk about some Family Matters, nigga. Let's get all up in your Family Matters, your family tree. How about that? I'm gonna talk to your child. I'm gonna talk to your mama. I'm gonna talk to your daddy. I'm gonna talk to your daughter that niggas ain't know you had, and I'm gonna talk to you. Since you want to put a song out called Family Matters, and I seen some people talking about some premeditated ass diss, pre-recorded ass diss. Well, if I already know what you're dropping, pre-recording is kind of easy. It's not like you went in a different direction. He was hinting at Family Matters at the end of Push-Ups. We heard a portion of the song. So that means it was already in the works. Man, them other niggas are just crazy. Remedial. That's gonna be a word that you're gonna hear quite a bit on my channel. Remedial. Because it at least lets you know that you can do better, right? When you take remedial classes, they help you get back up to speed with the rest of your peers. You're not completely out, just in remedial classes. But yeah, man, like straight knockout blow. And I've got an article here. I'm going to pull it up on Medium from T Love. Okay. I think it's pronounced Talez Love. She follows me on social media too. But she wrote this article crowning Not Like Us as the greatest diss track of all time. She says even better than Ether, and she gives us her description as to why that is. All right, here we are. Why Not Like Us is the greatest diss track of all time. Yes, better than Ether. Okay, in the pantheon of scathing Kendrick Lamar and Drake diss tracks released last year, Not Like Us emerged as the distinguished victor, undisputedly, solidifying Kendrick's win in the biggest rap battle hip hop has ever seen. Motherfucking facts. The record debuted atop of the Billboard Hot 100, is currently approaching a full year on the chart, has amassed 5 Grammy Awards, sold over 9 million units, and become a cultural phenomenon. Loaded with West Coast culture over a classic DJ Mustard beat, the song continues to draw the ire of Drake fans globally. The song was immediately so massive that within a couple months of its release, Culture Podcast began debating if the song was corny. Which it's very rare that we see that happen. You know what I'm saying? Niggas wanted to try to infiltrate the pool. You know what I'm saying? Try to put some poison in the pool to make people like, is it corny? Do I really not like this song? Nah, nigga, fuck that shit. She says, in my opinion, this was a way for Drake fans to cope with levels of hip hop humiliation we've never seen. Even worse, many continue to ignore the song's layered social commentary by simply reducing it to that song that insinuates Drake is a PDF. Today marks the 1 year anniversary of the song's release, and there will be a lot of discourse around the best diss tracks of the great rap war of 2024. I myself have a deep love for Kendrick's hard-hitting Euphoria and the warning that is 616 in LA, absolutely. When ranking Kendrick's diss tracks, Not Like Us is usually demoted lyrically in comparison to the aforementioned songs. In this article, I'm here to make the case that Not Like Us is actually the greatest diss song of all time. In hip hop culture, Ether, Nas' unrelenting response to Jay-Z, is seen as the pinnacle of the diss genre. Using Ether as the goalpost, I suggest that while Not Like Us may not be as lyrically compelling in comparison to most of Kendrick's catalog, it is still just as lethal and reigns as the greatest diss track of all time. Big shout out to my nigga Nas. He definitely went the fuck in on Jay-Z, and y'all know Jay-Z is my personal GOAT. But Nas went the fuck in, and Nas is in my top 3 MCs of all time as well, so I don't love him no less. So let's see what the case is. She says, let me preface my claim with the fact that Nas and Tupac are both in my top 5 all-time rappers, for sure. My dad, a Los Angeles native, introduced me and my sister to hip-hop by consistently playing Tupac, Nas, A Tribe Called Quest, and Busta Rhymes. Hey, that's very similar to my upbringing. I was 9 years old when Ether was released in 2001, and for understandable reasons, this is the one Nas song that I don't remember hearing upon release. Well, yeah, because it wasn't even a radio single. When re-listening to the song recently, I immediately thought I was tripping for thinking Not Like Us was better. But let me just go back to Ether. First time I heard Ether was on a mixtape, P. Cutter. For my folks that was consuming mixtapes around that time, P. Cutter Street Wars mixtape. I think it was volume 3. I heard them gunshots come on. I said, what is that? Heard the Pac sample. Fuck Jay-Z. What's up, niggas? Hey, yo, I ain't heard you talking about me, dog. You what? Fuck Jay-Z. You been on my dick, nigga. You love my style, nigga. Fuck Jay-Z. This shit is iconic. For it to not have been a radio single, for it to be as impactful as it has been over the last 20 years, that's a tough one. But let's get back into the article. I just had to do a little praise break for a second. Ether is 4 minutes of pure unadulterated disdain for Jay-Z, with the whole song feeling like one big stab to the chest. It's direct, it's disrespectful, and as a listener, it almost feels like a violation to even hear it. My initial reaction was, no way, Not Like Us. It's not better than that. That was brutal. But then I thought about it. When Nas said that Ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow, Kendrick took that to heart. Not Like Us is better than Ether because it does exactly that. It's not as vicious in terms of wordplay, but that is also why it's just as vicious. Not Like Us is so savage that the song is now considered family friendly, inviting listeners to essentially forget about Drake. That is a fact. It's definitely to another stratosphere. You're not really hearing. You might hear the Ether instrumental at sports outings, because I hear the instrumental sometimes when niggas is playing basketball and shit like that. You know, shout out to the stadium DJs that do that. But Not Like Us is in commercials. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers use that shit for all types of goddamn TV, radio ads. Everybody and their mama got a remix to it. It's a cypher beat. It's a goddamn... It's a whole corporation that's been built under Not Like Us. I'm sure Not Like Us has generated... I don't even want to go there, because Drake is trying to look into the books off of this record. That right there solidifies it right there. A diss record turned into a lawsuit. A diss record is being quoted in 100 pages of a lawsuit. I thought it was enough to be honored by the goddamn Pulitzer Prize people, but to be quoted for 100 pages of a lawsuit because the rapper couldn't take it, got put back in his pajama clothes. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's continue. Instead, listeners have the opportunity to celebrate being distinct in comparison to perceived outsiders. The record is consistently played on the radio, at sporting events, political events, concerts of other artists, church sermons, and that's the other thing. Other artists play this shit at their shows. Good fucking point. Shit. Wayne played it at his show, talking about, oh, I ain't even know that was Kendrick. Isaiah Rashad, Megan Thee Stallion were playing that motherfucker at the show. It was shit. Niggas are still playing it at their shows a year later. Other artists, church sermons, cookouts, you name it. Yeah, church sermons. That was crazy too. It's inescapable, and for that reason alone, Not Like Us is that ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. In comparison to one stab, Not Like Us is like a knife turning in the wound repeatedly, over and over again. For the last 12 months, there hasn't been a day on X where the song was not the topic of discussion. It's Drake's never-ending nightmare, and we know this because he's suing Universal Music Group over it, claiming the sound caused him to fear for his safety, and then gonna try to act like the shooting that took place at his home was because of the fucking artwork. And being called a PDF as if somebody was trying to retaliate on him for that. Good God. A rap battle culminating in a lawsuit is something we've never seen before. Big facts. Borrowing from the rhymes of elite battle rapper Loaded Lux, the tension between Jay-Z and Nas was thicker than German guard dogs. Ooh, nice reference. Thicker than German guard dogs. What you know about Loaded? But Jay and Nas still managed to have impactful careers in its aftermath, eventually becoming friends. Shout out to Loaded Lux, by the way. Shout out to J Nolan, being featured on Loaded Lux, Top Shelf Freestyle, presented by Hot 97, episode 2 on Hot 97's YouTube channel. You can look it up right now and go watch it. Let's get back to this. Just for everybody who says J Nolan's a nobody, failed rapper. But Jay and I still managed to have impactful careers in its aftermath, eventually becoming friends. Jay-Z went on to become something like the godfather of rap and was instrumental in the selection of Kendrick Lamar for the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. Jay achieved his godfather-like position in the culture through the success of his music and his business endeavors, making him the most successful rapper of all time, arguably eclipsing his battle with Nas on Drake's 2016 song Summer 16. He raps, I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay. This is what makes Not Like Us more dangerous than Ether, because Not Like Us has forever thwarted Drake's desire. While Drake will continue to have commercial success, I am uncertain that he will ever escape the vitriol of Not Like Us and the cultural perception that the song has created. That alone places Not Like Us above Ether. Not Like Us also proves to be the greatest diss track of all time due to the social commentary provided in the third verse, a verse which continues to be a hard pill for the culture to swallow. Kendrick Lamar ultimately accuses Drake of exploiting the cultural sound of Atlanta artists, implying that Drake cannot pull from his own cultural cachet. This is not a new critique, as Drake is consistently criticized for appearing to over-dramatize the negative aspects of rap music while linking himself to tropes of blackness that often come across as caricatures. Yeah, the motherfucking barrettes. Yeah, that was way too far. While this alone is subject for its own deep dive in the future, I'm simply arguing here that Kendrick's decision to make part of the record a social commentary on the exploitation of black art makes this song much more potent. Kendrick is not only defending his family, his coast, and his skills as an MC, but he also takes it upon himself to protect the lineage of Black American music. Not Like Us becomes an allegory where he uses this massive moment that is grappled with hip hop beef to spark larger conversation outside of himself, asking us to critique exploitative practices that have plagued Black cultural production since the founding of this country. In doing this, he remains true to his music roots as he always uses his art to critique, ask questions, or reiterate discourse about the social, cultural, and economic conditions of Black people in America. The discussion over Not Like Us's all-time ranking among diss records will continue for generations, similar to the conversations that still occur about the Jay-Z and Nas battle. However, I am uncertain that we will see another diss record or hip-hop record period reach this same commercial magnitude while simultaneously possessing a layered cultural message. That's a fact. We've been having conversations about this record for 365 days. And although sometimes it can become exhausting talking about the same stuff, there's always new layers, there's always new angles, right? And then the opposition, as he continues to unravel and spiral out in his own ways, it only brings more validity to the things that were said in this battle. I think that's been the most, the one of the more impactful pieces of the puzzle is that Drake has unraveled in front of us to be exactly what the claims were. We knew this, but rather than find a way to, course correct himself, he's actually leaned further into all of the things that were said about him. Perhaps he thinks that's the best way to go rather than to turn a new leaf and look like he changed because of what Kendrick said. It continues to make him look tone deaf to the rest of the culture. And because his fans will not challenge him or ask for maturity or growth, he feels like, I'm doing the right thing. Somebody told you wrong. But let's keep it going. Due to the massive impact of the song and the mudslinging that occurred between hip hop's two biggest gladiators, the morality and ethics of the diss genre are under fire, with those in and outside the culture suggesting that there has to be a limit. This also comes at a time where rappers, particularly in the trap and drill subgenres, continue to live under a microscope by the public and the judiciary system, as many rappers are on trial, with their lyrics serving as the key witness. This has invited conversation around what can be said in rap songs. I oppose the belief that there should be a limit in the diss record skeptical. I think you mean spectacle, but okay, let's keep going. As battles for entertainment are as old as the Greco-Roman Empire. I'm also weary of people who feel the need to critique Black cultural production using the lens of barbarity, as in my opinion, it paves the way for the dehumanization of Black people and our art forms. Not Like Us is Black cultural production at its highest levels, and although the commercial impact of the song was immediate, the message of the song will continue to live as a slow burn to the soul for generations to come, inviting us to check, disrespect, and question entities that attempt to do so by exploiting Black culture. Awesome article. Shout out to T Love. Very articulate here. And you did a good job of, pleading your case. I don't think it even took all of this to plead the case, right? Once you said 9 times platinum, still on the charts a whole year later, and all of the things about the third verse and Black exploitation in the workforce and in cultural elements, who could really argue with it? I mean, if we're putting Ether up there, which Ether is an excellent diss record, I could run off that record off the top of my head easily right now, but Not Like Us definitely dethroned it. Some will put Hit 'Em up there. I think Hit 'Em Up is definitely a strong candidate as well. Unfortunately, the Outlaws, as much as I love them, I do feel like they they took it down a couple notches, and Tupac had to bring it right back up. But the impact of Not Like Us can't be undermined. It can't be minimized. It can't be taken away. I mean, look at what it's doing in the live space. People ain't tired of it yet. Motherfuckers, I was just there a few days ago rapping my motherfucking lungs out. Tell him breathe. I done learned how he perform it. Nail a nigga to the cross. He walk around like tease. You know what I'm saying? I know how this nigga doing it on stage. Nas ain't had that. He ain't had that on his side. He ain't had a Super Bowl on his side. To where this song is like outside of the fucking galaxy, bruh. And it's still lyrically astute. Like it's not when we compare it to the rest of Kendrick's catalog, it may not have the same level of lyricism, but it's still lyrically astute. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching is probably still my favorite bar from the song, just as an MC, because that's one of them lines. I don't give a fuck if you sit me in the studio for 6 years, I probably wouldn't have came up with that bar, right? As an MC, it's funny as fuck. When me and my cousin talked about this song, that's the bar that we said with each other. We said, beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Oh my God. I'm sorry, God. I hide the Bible, but this nigga finna get that work. Okay? You know I love you, God. You know I respect you, God. You know I honor you in all things. But respectfully, he finna get this work on Sunday. On the Jewish Sabbath. Let me calm down that last part before niggas start saying I'm anti-S, which I'm not. But you know how that shit go, especially the way they put it in that motherfucking original lawsuit. Now, as we continue on with the show, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that showed up, showed out, and endured throughout the rain in Charlotte, North Carolina last night for the Grand National Tour with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I do believe that Halle Bailey was also in the crowd in the rain, turning up. So shout out to all of y'all. I saw footage. It looked beautiful. I saw some people that tried to say that Kendrick Lamar called Charlotte Atlanta. He said Carolina, not Hey Atlanta. But, you know, we'll continue on. So they say review. This is from the Charlotte Observer, a local publication that covered the show. After a stormy, shaky start, Kendrick Lamar and SZA soar in Charlotte. Oh, before I get started, whoever was out there in Charlotte that stole SZA's products, y'all need y'all ass whooped. I'm sorry. Much love and respect to everybody else, but those of y'all that stole SZA's stuff, y'all deserve ass whipping. Let me continue. So, they say there are two things that caused Kendrick Lamar's big co-headlining show with SZA at Bank of America Stadium to get off to an inauspicious start. One was a relatively minor screw-up. In fact, many might not have even caught it, but still something altogether out of character for Lamar. We'll explain in more detail in a minute. The other thing, meanwhile, which we had a much bigger, much longer cringe over, was, of course, that stupid weather. And it was a pretty strong storm. And then nigga Kendrick said, I love the rain. I'm here, baby. Let's get it. They say we could see the storm coming from miles away on our weather apps, and indeed it came at 4:45 p.m. to be exact. Drops of rain started pecking at heads and shoulders. Then within minutes, lightning was flickering in the skies to the southwest. Moments after that, stadium officials gave a seat cover order to match the one issued just over a dozen blocks away in First Ward Park in the middle of rapper Petey Pablo's set at Love and Life Music Fest. So shout out to Petey Pa. He was out there goddamn twisting shirts like helicopters at the same time. By the time the clock struck 5, it was a downpour with anyone. And I genuinely loved that fucking song. That was the year it came out. That was probably my favorite song. Okay. No diss to Petey Pablo. Raise Up is still classic. One of the best Timbaland beats that never gets talked about as well. We'll continue. By the time the clock struck 5, it was a downpour with anyone headed toward Bank of America Stadium who hadn't packed a waterproof jacket or purchased a poncho from a sidewalk hawker, likely remorseful and definitely damp. On social media, some fans immediately worried about a night cut short, wondering aloud whether the show would be canceled. Oh no, baby, this rain a shine. Others, like those of us who've been through this kind of thing before, worried more about the possibility of being out later than expected, as sometimes happens when start times get delayed, but artists insist on still giving fans their full set. Turns out neither of those fears were founded. The lucky break, the timing. If the same storm had rolled into Uptown at say 8:45 p.m., we'd be writing about noise ordinance fines, post-midnight Uber pricing surges, antsy babysitters, and a lot of Charlotte waking up at least a little later on Sunday morning than usual. Instead, the seat cover order was lifted by 6:15 and plenty of time for DJ Mustard's half-hour set to start at 7:15 as scheduled. Oh, so they started on time, not a hitch in the program. And plenty of time to load Lamar into the 1987 Buick Grand National sports car, the one he made famous during his Super Bowl halftime performance in February and had on the cover of his album, and to make both of them rise out into a cloud of smoke on stage a few minutes after 8 as scheduled without a hitch. More precipitation. We don't get precipitation prizes. Was on the way, but it would be of the lighter, lightning-free variety, and it would make the night more memorable for everyone involved. Charlotte was just the fourth stop on the 23. No, 39. Hey, man, shout out to them corporate motherfuckers that was up in them rafters, up in the suites next door to the stadium that came out on the balcony looking at that motherfucker. Some of them had got captured video of the stadium playing TV off and shit. That shit was dope, man. Like, you would have thought that was a fucking a full ass festival in that bitch. It wasn't no festival. This is two artists and a DJ. Kendrick, SZA, DJ Mustard. 3 people got their bit jumping. I love to see it, man. And I'm gonna celebrate all the way through. Because this is not just about Kendrick Lamar. It's not just about SZA. This is a cultural moment. This is a cultural victory. This is the moment we see when somebody who took the road less traveled in this hip-hop shit actually win at the highest level. It's been a long time since we've seen it to this capacity. As a matter of fact, I don't think we've ever seen it to this capacity of an authentic rapper that didn't take the shortcuts or the easy way out or the super pop lane in order to achieve success. And we got to salute that shit way more than what we do. And if you don't enjoy the celebration of that shit, that's on you, homie. I don't know why people have this thing. I just had to deal with somebody once again talking about we don't want to hear about Kendrick Lamar every day. Homie, speak for yourself. Okay? And clearly you lying to yourself, you lying to me, and you lying in my comments, because how the hell you gonna come to a Kendrick Lamar video talking about Kendrick Lamar and then say you don't want to hear about him? And this is why some people, I see somebody the other day saying I'm rude. No, I'm not rude. Motherfuckers come in here being rude to me. I only respond and return to sender. So think twice before you come up in this motherfucker, because you're not finna go up in nobody's house and disrespect their motherfucking couch. And if you do, whatever comes to you during that ordeal is what you deserve. Okay? So if talking or hearing about Kendrick Lamar makes your ass itch, makes your stomach twitch, or perhaps act like a bitch, do what you need to do. Okay? It's craziness, man. That's one thing that I don't enjoy about all of this mess. Like, people that just have no objectivity whatsoever, can't remove their personal feelings from the conversation at hand. Because if you don't like a nigga, why would you come clicking on content regarding the nigga? If you tired of the nigga, go elsewhere. Outside would be a perfect option. Turn your TV off. Turn your phone off. Remove the YouTube app if it's getting overwhelming for your ass. Get the Calm app. But anyway, on a positive note, salute to Kendrick Lamar, salute to SZA, salute to DJ Mustard, salute to Charlotte, North Carolina for showing up, showing out, and doing that motherfucking thing in the rain, no less, with no ceiling. You know what I mean? And let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Do you believe that Not Like Us is the greatest diss track of all time? Do you have anything over it? Be sure to let me know. And please, don't pull no whack-ass diss records out your ass just to be different. Please pull out valid diss records. But nonetheless, share your thoughts. I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace. Much love and respect, y'all.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.